Killed a few giant bats in my day, Astarion, but never hunted a vampire.
Just to remind you, I'm merely a spawn. It won't count. But if you want a true vampire, I'm happy to recommend one.
Astarion, how is the rat diet going?
It may soon come to an end if you don't shut your mouth.
As much love as I hold for Baldur's Gate, these frontiers delight me as much as any bustling street.
You can't be serious. This is a howling wasteland. I haven't even had a bath since the abduction. I must reek of illicit slime.
Sure, but think of the stories you'll be able to tell.
Oh, a game for surface children.
Goblins ahead.
Look it, Claw! Supper's here! Only funnin'. Got word from Moonrise?
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
Of course. Excusing me. Didn't know who you was.
Your mind lurches, reeling suddenly as if bitten.
Stand down, lads! Enjoy the party. I don't know any housing, your excelleness. Oh, one of them thieves? If he ain't dead, he's in the pits with the rest of them.
Sounds rancid. Let's see if we can get him out of there.
I suppose you want to hear about Cazador. My old master. Before the Mind Flayers took me from him. Before this strange, twisted freedom. Cazador Zar is a vampire lord in Baldur's Gate. The patriarch of his coven, and a monster obsessed with power. Not political power or military power, I mean power over people. The power to control them completely. He turned me nearly 200 years ago. I became his spawn, and he became my tormentor. He had me go out into Baldur's Gate to fetch him the most beautiful souls I could find. It was a fun little ritual of his. I'd bring them back, and he'd ask if I wanted to dine with him. And if I said yes, he'd serve me a dead, putrid rat. Of course, if I said no, he'd have me flayed. Hard to say which was worse. Thank you. But this isn't about sympathy. It's about knowing what we might be up against. The Mind Flayers aren't the only monsters out there. And they might not be the only ones hunting us. All I'm asking is that you keep your eyes open and watch out for anything lurking in the shadows. What more could I ask? Now, is that all? I won't lie. It's tempting. If I keep the tadpole, I risk transforming into a grotesque monster. If I lose the tadpole, Cazador has control of me, body and soul, and I return to the shadows. It's grim either way. So why not sell what's left of my soul to a devil? Better he has it than Cazador. Figuring out what's happening to us, confronting a god called the Absolute, and then finding time to kill my old master before he can control me once more? Yes, that's an option, but I wouldn't bet eternity on it.
Hear my voice. Obey my command.
The voice is irresistible. You recognize the overwhelming authority that you've used on others, only infinitely stronger. Your vision clouds, leaving you in a dark, featureless shadowscape. Nothingness in every direction. Then there are 3 figures before you. An armored male elf exuding power and command. A handsome younger man with a quick, easy smile. And a pale young woman with even paler eyes.
These are my chosen. They speak for me. Aid their search for the weapon, and you will be worthy to stand beside them in my presence.
The visions fade and the voice falters as a strange energy swells around you. The many-sided artifact. Somehow you understand it's repelling the presence.
My power grows. My forces gather. The reckoning draws near.
That thing's shielding us. Incredible.
Whatever power the artifact possesses, it shows no sign of it now.
Sounds like they've captured themselves a bard.
My flower and wine for great glory. Ah, a stranger in with fragulous crown and with scepter abraid, draw Ragslin, short work of the innkeeper made. The inn burnt to ash. The captives were many. Goblin kind had reduced them to cowering filthenny. So raise it, your goblets, and drain them with pride. Draw Ragslin, the true soul, had let you glide.
I reckon draw Ragslin's the gobbo in charge, the way this one's carrying on.
I never.
You! Move on!
Do as she says. Now. Now, where was I? Huh?
Wait a tick! That a friend of yours?
Oh, certainly not. What are you doing? I'm busy here.
You lying!
To you? Never. Come. let's continue our ballad. Draw Ragslin, draw Ragslin. I am draw Ragslin. Tumptuous, draw Ragslin.
You broke him!
Wait. Draw Ragslin. We pray. We.
Come on, pigeon! Back to your cage!
Now look what you've done.
Come on!
Of course,
My name's Gribbo, idiot!
right. Yes. More fool.
We have to slip the druid out of this. It's a veritable plague we've got.
Let's hope we find him in one piece.
Oh, come on now. They're just a...
Oi! Ain't no party in here. We're doing the Absolute's work. State your business. Now.
The mark glows, but you feel nothing in response. Your illithid power is beyond reach until you rest.
All right. Normally we stick you foreign types in the spider pit. But the Absolute says we're all making nice now. So in you go, I suppose. Bloody racket.
Oh, come on now. They're just having a bit of fun.
Do you hear the Absolute?
Smells like burnt flesh in here.
Now here's somebody special. The Absolute has touched you, hasn't she? Priestess Gut needs to touch you too. Hold out your arm so I can mark your flesh.
A priestess. One of the leaders, no doubt about it. Let's make her squeal.
What's that? Tell your friend to keep quiet, or he'll lose his good eye. Ready for the fire, are ya? Let's the faithful recognize one another quick sharp. That way nobody'll mess with ya. And it's charged with magic. Ordinary slobs can't see it, only us that follow the Absolute. You ready? Brace yourself, this'll sting. Hold still.
As pain muddles your thoughts, your minds become entangled. A familiar sensation. She, too, carries a parasite. Darkness seems to swallow the temple, leaving you with a vision of the Goblin Priestess receiving instruction from a handsome young man, one of the chosen. The vision dissolves away. You stand before the Goblin Priestess in the temple once again. Your minds brush against one another, but are swiftly parted.
Don't want to get intimate in front of the novices. Fair enough. Got some weird shadows in your head. Maybe I can help with that. Us true souls gotta look out for one another. A creature? There's definitely something rotten in there. Let me take a closer look. I ain't seen anything like this before. Let's deal with this in my chapel. It's private. Don't want this lot interfering with true soul business.
Oi! Priestess!
They're infected
We
like
want the
us.
mark.
Why do they think they're talking to a god?
good enough for the Absolute?
How delicious.
Oi, come here. I ain't waiting around.
You sort of fight.
Well, just got a little less rich.
We got 'em now, eh? And once the well start ringing, we'll know who sent them.
Aye. Might be we'll pay him a visit in return. Now, who wants another drink?
Ice massive! We're still just a bit. It don't feel right messing with this. Not me!
Feeling a bit parched and peckish.
Me too. Keep an eye out. Yes?
Another. Thy name has been recorded. I shall be here in thy camp for whenever thou hast need of my services. Beyond mortal realms, there doth exist an amalgamation of spirits akin to thine own, ensnared by the treacherous cult of the Absolute, felled in its name. They bear great discontentment with their destiny. For a mere pittance of coin, I might summon the worthiest among them to lend aid to thy undertaking. Fate spins along, a mending of the threads between life and death. Should thou or any of thy compatriots perish, I will cleave soul to body once more. A matter of coin. Then I shall wait here patiently until such is life. Outrage leading to a singular end.
Something the matter? I know. I don't understand how exactly, but I felt it go to you. It's important. Keep it close. It's not the sort of thing I can just tell anyone. Let's see if we can build up some trust first. I do, but the artifact has a will of its own, and powers to enforce it. It likely won't let me take it back. The best I can do is to stay close. Bide my time. Eventually, I'll need to take it. Then, I'll have to see what can be done about that. I don't know what you mean. It's nothing, really. What makes you think I'm hiding anything? If I've something to share, I'll let you know. You've already pestered me with your notions. Something the matter? Fine. What's on your mind? I must admit, you've been a surprise, and not an unpleasant one. Kindred spirits are few and far between for me. Besides, you saved my life aboard the Nautiloid. How can I do anything but sing your praises?
Yes?
Well met. My father once said, one does not pursue a champion's life. One merely answers its call. So it was for me. I was hunting near the Cloakwood when I heard it. A child crying out from a lone farmstead. I found him in the fields, flanked by goblins. His mother's corpse bled into the soil next to him. I don't remember much of the battle, but I remember drying the boy's tears after. Proud? No. Angry. Angry at the monsters preying on innocents. Angry at the so-called good gods for tolerating the cruelty of the evil. Angry at myself that it took so long for me to see the coast suffering. The frontiers demanded a blade. And so I heeded. I shouldn't be surprised. You are a great talent. When darkness falls, you make your own light. The helpless, though, they need the light of others. They're the ones who seek out the blade.
It is a strange experience. Each time anew. Like a lost soul is spelunking through the darkness that is me, only to be sacrificed on the dread altar of the heart. Somehow the second artifact hasn't had the effect of the first. It's somewhat relieved the discomfort, but I fear my hunger hasn't quite... You do plenty for me, more than you realize. But this cannot be remedied. The magic isn't having the effect it should have. It's not like the last time, like a rainstorm that quells a forest fire. It merely drizzles. The embers still sizzle, the fire remains undefeated. I'm not certain what's going on, but nothing good. Please, I need to think. I need to retrace my steps to a glade of calm and think. Thank you for the artifact. A great deal of trouble.
The air is heavy. Moisture drips down your forehead. Pain shoots through your fingers. Your finger traces the arc of your lips. Wetness Sweat, blood, and saliva mixed into one viscous liquid.
Chukil Gate Vlakith Mazathok! Can you feel it crawling through you? Tendrils squirming in your chest, gripping your heart, piercing your belly. Your bones popping, your flesh swelling. I can. I see it in you. I feel it in me. We are lost. I will be quick with my blade. First you, then the others, then myself.
Your minds intertwine. You sense a touch of uncertainty, a touch of disgust.
I will wait. If the sickness does not pass come dawn, I will end us all. I came just in time. You are transforming.
Yes, you have. I saved you before. And I'm here to save you again. Don't worry. You will not become a mind flayer. Not while I'm around. I'll protect you. We haven't much time, so listen closely. There is great potential within you. It comes from that parasite. Your instinct is to resist the power it gives, but you must accept it, nurture it. I will keep it from consuming you, but for the sake of both of us, you must learn to wield it. A fight for the fate of Faerun. A fight we are losing. For now. You can change that, but only if you embrace your potential. I have to go. The enemy is closing in. I will be back. You'll feel better. I promise.
I had a wild dream last night. This beautiful entity came to me, promised to protect me. Told me the parasite in our heads could give us power. Sounds like it. What did you make of it? Seems risky, if you ask me. Couldn't help getting stuck with the tadpole, but taking favors from it? Spooky.
This one is a true soul parasite. It can enhance you. You can absorb its potential. Open your mind to it. You already know how.
Your mind swells as it subsumes everything the tadpole has to offer. Everything it was and everything it was destined to be. Pure potential. Pure power.
Good. You have grown your power and improved your chances of survival.
It was bad enough having just one of those tadpoles forced upon us. I can scarcely believe you actually inflicted another on yourself. On one hand, they seem useful. But on the other hand, or perhaps tentacle before long, we know where they're coming from and what lies at the end of that path. I never expected Ceramorphosis to be tempting. I think we should resist these powers. There's simply too many unknowns for us to risk it. Well, perhaps you have a point. Fine. Let's explore these powers then. I just hope we don't come to regret it. This again. You're persistent, I'll give you that. Like I told you before, you'll know if I have anything to... You've already pestered me with your notions once.
Well, no tentacles yet. I suppose we can consider that a success.
Something the matter?
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
Feeling illicit? You really did it, huh? Not worried about adding more illithid into the mix? Well, what can I say? You look fine, smell fine, seem fine. And yet, you're more mind flayer than ever. Hope you don't expect me to follow your lead in this. Do they? I'm not sure either of us can say one way or the other. We don't know what the costs might be just yet. How do you do that? Always making sense when I least want you to. Fine. I'll keep an open mind, all right? I can promise that much. Now, are we done here?
danger. No good will come of devouring a ghaik worm, no matter what you might think. Mark my words, this power would be no blessing, but a curse. You might as well ask me to gouge out my eyes for the promise of sight, or slice off my tongue for the promise of taste. Consume all the ghaik tadpoles you wish. I'm not so craven. And when the tadpole has stretched to every pore and slithered through every vein, what then? It won't hear my screams. It won't care if I beg. I will be remade in its image. My faith in Vlaakith will guide me, and my own might will sustain me. I have no need of this depraved power.
Gone gods. Watching you consume that tadpole was more disgusting than the tadpole itself. Though, I suppose that's not what you wanted to talk about. I think that unknowable powers come with unknowable consequences. I can't say I'm not curious, but once you take an illithid by the talon, there's no telling how deep into the abyss it might drag you. I'm more than a bit wary, I admit. Still, I am the Frontier's avowed protector. New dangers require new skills to vanquish them. If the tadpole must be my curse, then let the powers it grants me be the Sword Coast's blessing. I will consume what I must to make it so.
My condition likes being ignored as little as I do. I must consume another artifact. And soon. Thank you. Good gods. I don't know what to make of this. 3 artifacts is a positive glut of magic. Yet my hunger only grows. Listen, I need to speak to you, to all of you. It would be unconscionable of me to remain silent. I might just be about to remedy that. You have to know who I was. You have to know who I really am. What I am is a walking shadow of the promise I once held. I'm what one might call a wizard prodigy. Who from an early age could not only control the weave, but compose it. Much like a musician or a poet. Such was my skill that it earned me the attention of the mother of magic herself. The Lady of Mysteries. The goddess Mystra. She revealed herself to me and she became my teacher. In time, she became my muse. And later, even my lover. I am, after all, the villain of the tale. We enjoyed each other's company. Body, mind, and soul. But even so, I desired more. You see, no matter how powerful a wizard we mortals can become, we never scratch more than the surface of the weave. Mystra keeps us in check. There are boundaries she doesn't let us cross. Yet, every time I was with her, I stood on the precipice, gazing into the wonders that lay beyond. I sought to cross her boundaries. Quite. I tried to convince her. I pouted. I pleaded. Swore my ambition was only to serve her better. She only smiled and told me to be contented. Inconceivable as it seems to me now, I shared a bed with a goddess, and yet I wasn't satisfied. So I sought to prove myself worthy to her instead. We come now to the crux of my folly. Shall I share the story behind it, or would you rather head straight to its sordid finale? Very well. Here goes. Once upon a very long time ago, a mighty lord lived in a tower. A flying tower, to be precise. I'll save his history for another time, but the gist of it is that he sought to usurp the goddess of magic so that he could become a god himself. And he almost managed, but not quite. And his entire empire, Netheril, came crashing down around him as he turned to stone. The magic that was unleashed that day was phenomenal. Roiling like the prime chaos that outdates creation. Even the weave itself could not withstand the onslaught. It fractured, then shattered, and all magic was lost to the mortal realms, until the day Mystra returned. She restored the weave, reuniting all its scattered shards. Or so I thought. Until, in the course of my studies, I learned of a book. A Netherese tome in which a piece of the fractured weave had been sealed beyond her reach. What if, I thought, what if, after all this time, I could return this lost part of herself to the goddess? You know me. My gestures can never be grand enough. I was certain that this deed of raw power, draped in romance, would convince Mystra to take me by the hand and welcome me into her hitherto forbidden domains. I was mistaken. I obtained the fabled book and took it into my study. As for what happened next... Here. Place your hand over my heart. Let me show you.
You feel the tadpole quiver as you realize Gale is letting you into the dark. You see through Gale's eyes, staring down the corridors of a dread memory. A book, bound, and suddenly opened. Inside there are no pages, only a swirling mass of blackest weave that pounces. Its teeth, its claws, it's unstoppable as it digs through and becomes part of you. And gods, is it ever hungry.
Thankfully, the moment I absorbed the fragment wasn't enough to kill me outright. It was only the beginning. This Netherese blight, this orb, for lack of a better word, is balled up inside my chest. And it needs to be fed. As long as I absorb traces of the weave from potent enough sources, it remains quiet. Were it ever to fully destabilize, however. I will erupt. I don't know the exact magnitude of the eruption, but given my studies of Netherese magic, I'd say even a fragment as small as the one I carry, it'd level a city the size of Waterdeep. All of this, it must feel like a betrayal. Say the word, and we'll part ways. That is a great relief. Oh, a great relief indeed. You truly are a soul that steals my own. From all my new rallied heart, I thank you. I thank you all. I understand if you stand against me. I'm humbled if you stand with me. Either way, I will do my best not to let you down. I stand at a precipice, but if you do not give up hope, neither shall I. I'll fight. I'll resist as long as I can. Now, even I am tired of the sound of my own voice. Let us venture forth.
So, you've indulged. Just helped yourself to a little more power, I see. And there isn't a tentacle to be seen. Not a bad deal, I'd say. My only complaint is that you didn't want to share. I wouldn't mind indulging myself. I might just hold you to that. Well, hello. What can I do for you?